Today we are talking about the deep investment thesis on Bmnr, okay? You have maybe seen my style is always to go 1 mile deep instead of 1 mile wide, and I will explain why. I will show you what Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger says about diversification and much more here in this video, so stay tuned and let's go.
Welcome to the game, I'm the wolf of Dubai.
Welcome to a brand new vlog. If you don't know who I am, which is apparently like 30% of the people that are watching and landing on one of my videos, I am Danny and I'm looking for stocks that can go up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x. I did this many times before with Tesla and Nvidia, and my subscribers even bought houses and apartments, right? So it's maybe a good return of investment to subscribe to my channels, to all of them, and also on X. And I have also my private group where we trade for you. Yes, you heard it right. We have a special software that we developed by our own. It's called the AutoPilot, and the AutoPilot lets us, our professional day trading team, to send you all our trades that we are doing as well. We haven't lost a trade since 3 weeks, which is absolutely insane considering the latest stock market decline was one of the hardest in this year. And even in this environment, we increased the portfolios of all our members. We try to get about like 8 to 15% growth per month. So if that is interesting for you and you have $10,000, then maybe you will see this kind of growth. So you can see here $10,000 could get into $58,000 after the first 12 months. Now, that's obviously highly dependent on the market and what great trades we can find. But if this is interesting for you, all done for you, then check out x10daytrading.com. We are raising our joining fee every month, so check it out, schedule a call with me personally, and we see if we can help you as well. Now, as you know from my videos, I like to dive deep into one single stock or two single stocks. I always talk only about stocks that I personally invest in, right? So you see me talking very much about Bmnr because I want to build a $10 million position in this beautiful company. And some people might say, well, why you don't put it into, let's say, 5 stocks that you really like, right? First of all, there's not so many great stocks that I like Warren Buffett, for example, says if you find 3 amazing companies in your life, then you should go really deep on those, and this is enough to never worry about money again, okay? One I already found, right, which was Tesla. I invested into Tesla when it was like a $23 company. Then it went down to even $11. I kept on investing all my life savings, and the rest is obviously history. Now, I believe that I really appreciate the style of investing where you don't, talk about 20 stocks and you barely know every company. I want to be in one company and understand one company so good that I comfortably can say, okay, I can put $1 million, $2 million, $3 million into this company because I know what the market thinks, what are the good levels of entry, what are great opportunities to leverage a little bit with options, what is Tom Lee is doing, who's Tom Lee, who's the management team, what they had for lunch. I want to be as much detailed as possible on those because I don't like to diversify. If you diversify within 10, 20, 30 stocks, you can actually buy the S&P 500 and don't care about the market at all, right? You can sit there and be average, but who wants to be average, right? Nobody here on my channel. So only unaverage people want to be subscribed to this channel and have maybe some result that is much better than the overall market, or that when you invest into some steady income like a saving account or whatsoever, or a government bond even, right? You can invest in a government bond and get like 4 or 5%, but this is not what we are looking at. As I said in the beginning, we are looking into the stocks and companies that can go up 10, 20, 30x, and I want to show you a clip, okay, by one of the most, let's say, best and greatest of all the time, which is Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, and what they say about diversification and going into great business. Here we go.
And then put money in number 30 or 35 on your list of attractiveness and forego putting more money into number 1 just strikes Charlie and me as madness. And it's conventional practice, and it may, if all you have to achieve is average, it may preserve your job, but it's a confession in our view that you don't really understand the businesses that you own. On a personal portfolio basis, I own 1 stock, but it's a business I know, and it leaves me very comfortable. So, do I need to own 28 stocks in order to, have proper diversification, it'd be nonsense. And within Berkshire, I could pick out 3 of our businesses, and I would be very happy if they were the only businesses we owned and I had all my money in Berkshire. Now, I love it, the fact that we can find more than that and that we keep adding to it. But 3 wonderful businesses is more than you need in this life to do very well. And the average person isn't going to run into that. I mean, if you look at how the fortunes were built in this country, they weren't built out of a portfolio of 50 companies. They were built by someone who identified with a wonderful business. Coca-Cola is a great example. A lot of fortunes have been built on that. And there aren't 50 Coca-Colas. There aren't 20. If there were, it'd be fine. We could all go out and diversify like crazy among that group and get results that would be equal to owning the really wonderful one. But you're not going to find it. And the truth is, you don't need it. I mean, if you have a really wonderful business is very well protected against the vicissitudes of the economy over time and the competition. I mean, we're talking about businesses that are resistant to effective competition, and 3 of those will be better than 100 average businesses, and they'll be safer. Incidentally, I mean, there is less risk in owning 3 easy-to-identify wonderful businesses than there is in owning 50 well-known big businesses. And it's amazing what has been taught over the years in finance classes about that. But I can assure you that I would rather pick, if I had to bet the next 30 years on the fortunes of my family that would be dependent upon the income from a given group of businesses, I would rather pick 3 businesses from those we own than own a diversified group of 50. Charlie?
Yeah, what he's saying is that much of what is taught in modern corporate finance courses is twaddle.
You want to elaborate on that, Charlie?
You cannot believe this stuff. I mean, it's modern portfolio theory, and it
has no utility. But I mean, it will tell you how to do average. But I think anybody can figure out how to do average in 5th grade. I mean, it's just not that difficult. And it's elaborate, and there's lots of little Greek letters and all kinds of things to make you feel that you're in the big leagues. But there is no value added.
I have great difficulty with it because I am something of a student of dementia, and I have.
Yeah, we hang around a lot together.
And I can ordinarily classify dementia, on some theory structure of models, but the modern portfolio theory, it involves a type of dementia I just can't even classify. Something very strange is going on.
Yeah. If you find 3 wonderful businesses in your life, you'll get very rich. And if you understand them, bad things aren't going to happen to those 3. I mean, that's the characteristic of it.
By the way, maybe that's the reason there's so much dementia. If you believe what Warren said, you could teach the whole course in about a week.
Yeah. Yeah, and the high priest wouldn't have any edge over the lay people, and that never sells well.
Right.
So as you can see, they are very straightforward. They say, like, you should rather learn a lot about one company than spread it out, okay? Obviously, everyone has its own style, right? So my style, for example, is to put 80% in a long-term portfolio with very handful of stocks. The stocks that I like very much, Bitmine for most of the portfolio, and then also a little bit of Open Door, a little bit of Wolf, and there's some other stocks that I hold still. And obviously, I have my Tesla position and all the other things that I'm still holding, for example, like Palantir or Hood, right? So there's kind of things that I went in very early, but at some point, I also like to get out of a stock a little bit when it's getting like crazy, right? So for example, let's say maybe at 600, 800 on Tesla, I would slowly start to reduce the position, for example, to free up some more cash into the other companies. But I would say that the most of the capital is actually concentrated on very, very high research place only. Okay, so that's very important for me. And for the rest of my portfolio, like 20%, I actually trade, and we do this for you actually with a team of day traders, professional day traders. We send the trades in and out into your portfolio. The money stays always on your portfolio. There's nothing that you need to have to, you don't have to send your portfolio somewhere. Like, it's very, very, very straightforward and very interesting way that we developed by our own, which is very unique worldwide. So if you want to know a little bit more, check out xnDayTrading.com and schedule a call with me personally, and we see if we can help you as well. So I hope that helps you, that this 1 mile deep is always better than 1 mile wide. I see people that saying, oh, I want to be into the crypto treasury business, right? So I buy Bitmine, I buy S-Link, I buy, whatever, Ezilla, I buy, I buy Mara, I buy MicroStrategy, and so on and so forth. In the end of the day, I think that currently, status quo, I think that MicroStrategy and Bitmine will be the greatest out there. And if you're just finishing on one, and maybe you already early on MicroStrategy and benefited like 100x, but I think that this is something to understand. You don't have to be right so many times, but 1 or 2 or 3 times, and then just heavily, and then you will be good for good. So looking forward to hear from your comments, and I see you obviously tomorrow, because I'm always thinking that the grass is greener always on the other side, and we are vlogging every single day. Make sure to subscribe to my other channels as well, and see you tomorrow.